Hey there, it's Egwin here from Beyond Systems. Today I'm going to talk about the idea of why it's important to learn quote-unquote boring movement. Now, let me explain this really quick. First of all, this video is definitely for both, for professional people in sports, for people who perform sports as a hobby, as well as for people who don't have a lot of experience in terms of movement or who do not do any specific sports. Now, what do I mean by the term boring movement? Many people who perform high-intensity sports, like for instance rock climbing, like right now I'm in a rock climbing gym here around the corner, or say skiing or downhill mountain biking or something like that. They think of pretty much every sport that doesn't strain the body or that doesn't load the body as intensely, sometimes as sort of boring. Even things like additional training exercises that are designed to improve their flexibility, that are designed to improve their mobility or their coordination, even those things sometimes are considered a boring concept, and by many who do not really dive into it on a completely professional level, this is considered a waste of time, because they think, well, I'm here, I got only, say, 2 hours or something like that in this gym. I just want to climb up that wall, I want to improve, I want to get better, and so on and so on. And sometimes, after this high-intensity climbing session, for instance, what happens is that later on, when they do a cool-down session or an additional training session to improve their strength and so on, again, their main focus is on high-intensity work, is on really giving it to the body, on really trying to get this flexibility with a lot of pressure, or to gain additional muscle mass, additional strength with pressure and with focus on training. This is all good, but one of the main and most misunderstood things and concepts is this. You have to focus on the quality of movement in order to progress beyond a certain point. Now, when I say it like that, it doesn't matter, once again, whether I'm talking to someone who is performing sports or I'm talking to someone who is normally just sitting on a desk job, 9-to-5 desk job, and doesn't do any sport at all. Focusing on movement quality is always something extremely important. Here's why. When you focus on training your body without any regard to the special needs your body has in terms of which muscles need strengthening, how is my intermuscular tension and coordination on the left side compared to the right side. So when you don't focus on all those specifics, sometimes high-intensity training or high-intensity sports can be harmful. Professional athletes, they know this, which is why they often do a lot of different things. Like many professional skiers, they do qigong, they do meditation, they do yoga, and so on, in order to balance their training out. However, this quote-unquote boring side methods to a specific training, they are at the center of becoming better and staying healthy for a longer time by still creating an improvement as well. So this is really important. Another thing is this: if you have the chance to do either high-intensity things or movement aspects that focus on quality of movement, my suggestion, my prime suggestion would always be choose your time and dedicate it to the quality movement rather than the high-intensity movement. For instance, if you are this person sitting in a 9-to-5 desk job and you do want to do something for your body, for your health, for your overall agility, rather than going into a gym for brute strength training, go to the gym and focus on movement quality. Try to learn things that teach you how to use your muscles, how to use your joints, how to coordinate properly, how to balance, how to maintain a healthy body tone throughout your life. But those things come quite often before the high intensity work, or you should at least do them as a substitute to high intensity work. There is nothing wrong with high intensity, there is nothing wrong with extreme sports. Like, I'm a rock climber myself, I'm also an aerial artist, and so on and so on. So there is nothing wrong with all of those things. It's just you have much more from your training if you dedicate more time to the movement quality and you really allow yourself to also do some quote-unquote boring movements. Just shortly, I was teaching a Qigong class, a spiral movement class, here in this rock climbing gym, in the Boulder Club in Graz. And one of my students, before we started, he was like, whoa, hang on, this workshop is gonna be 3 hours? And I was like, yeah, 3 hours. She was like, what are you gonna teach for 3 hours? And after the 3 hours, she was like, whoa, okay, well now I understand why you normally teach the things that you just showed us right now over the course of a semester, so over the course of 6 months or even 12 months. The only thing we did was we worked on intermuscular coordination and we worked out a couple of very fundamental basic biomechanical principles. They look boring from the outside, but there is so much more happening internally in your body. There is so much more happening in regard to really how do I communicate with my muscles, with my structure in such a way that the output is most optimal, that I do not hurt myself, that the pressure in the joints, in the intervertebral discs is reduced to a minimum, and so on and so on. So this is really extremely crucial to understand. Boring quote-unquote movement sometimes looks boring from the outside, but there is so much content in it. Content that you can apply in real life and in high intensity training as well. The whole idea of somatic education, which sort of started about 100, 150 years ago with Alexander technique, Feldenkrais and similar methods, the whole idea of that was to focus on specific coordinational patterns, on what happens when I do something in my leg, what happens up here in my shoulder when I do so, how is my body internally connected, what are the coordinational patterns that I run on, how can I improve on them. Once you know that, your efficiency goes up. You do not even need as much strength as you needed before because suddenly you're not in your own way. Reduced pressure in the joints doesn't just mean that there is less friction in the body, thus a less likelihood for you to get injured. It also means, and this is really important to understand, that you do not need as much strength to perform the same movements than before. So you're much more energy efficient and your whole structure is actually capable of performing at a much higher level. So next time you see someone perform quote-unquote boring movement, say some Qigong exercise, some slowly flowing movement, someone who is really talking about, okay, now try to feel what is happening in your muscles, what is happening in your joints when you do this, when you do that. Maybe just keep an open mind. That's really important. Instead of saying, well, nah, I don't want to focus on that. I want to climb. I want to do this downhill mountain bike race, whatever. Don't go too far in that extreme direction without at least allowing the thought of an improvement that comes from quality and from a more aware focus and dedication to specific movement patterns. This is extremely important. That's sort of what I wanted to give you today, this idea that boring movement sometimes looks less exciting from the outside because you're not hanging from a wall with 2 fingers in a hole or something like that. It looks as if you're doing almost nothing, but it takes much longer to actually perform a movement at high quality than it takes to perform it with brute strength. And brute strength most of the time leads to problems, whereas high quality is something that you can apply everywhere, anytime, throughout your whole life. No matter if it's to improve your posture and your structure when you're in a desk job, and you just want to move your body, you just want to improve your healthy movement, your health overall, your immune system, your well-being, or you actually want to use those things in such a way that you progress in whatever high-intensity sport you are doing. All right, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. Thanks a lot for watching. Just one more thing, out here in the Boulder Club in Graz, just next to it, we are currently building the first Graz Aerial Center, which is connected to the Boulder Club. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna have aerial acrobatics, we're gonna have multi-style training methods, ranging from yoga to rock climbing, to acrobatics, partner acrobatics, to natural movement, and so on and so on. So this is gonna be one central hub for high quality movement and high intensity movement at the same time. Have a wonderful time. Thanks for watching. See you around soon. If you liked the video, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel to more updates and also concrete exercises on how to improve your posture and your movement on your own terms. All right, have a wonderful time. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.